What's up, guys? Welcome to Waves and Rides, the channel where we talk all things cruising and theme parks. My name is Ryan. In today's video, we're ranking every theme park that I've been to. That's right, everybody. In today's video, we're ranking every theme park that I have been to in order of my favorites. Before we jump into today's discussion, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok and Instagram to keep up with everything that we're doing. Now, this is going to be in order of my favorite theme parks. Nothing against any of these parks. I like every single one of them. I love theme parks, so I don't dislike any of these parks. They're just my favorites. And so what I want to get into as well is I have, as of this recording, have not yet been to Epic Universe. I have not been to some of the newer parks that are out there. And this is just a ranking of just my favorites that I've been to, so I can see this becoming a series of videos as I attend more parks around the world, more parks around the country. I do plan on doing that, so this may change over time, and my rankings may change over time. So let's jump right in. Starting off, on number 13 is Six Flags Hurricane Harbor in Arlington, Texas. Again, I don't dislike this park. To me, this park is just very dated. I have been going to this park since I was a kid, and just kind of looking back on it as a kid, it did seem more fresh. It did seem more new, as I'm sure, as things age over time. I have not been since they have the updated kids area, the new splash area that they have there. I am very excited to see that for the first time. So just keep in mind, there are some renovations in this park that have happened that I have not yet seen, but it still comes in at number 13 on my list. Number 12 on my list is SeaWorld San Antonio. Again, I don't dislike this park, but it has been years since I've been there. I want to say it's probably been about 15, almost 20 years since the last time I was there. Since then, of course, there have been updates to the park, as everybody knows, been well publicized. There are less shows with the live animals, and there are now more rides there. They're becoming more of a rides-based park as opposed to a show-based park. It's been years. I do love SeaWorld. I loved seeing the animals, finding out later about the whole animal cruelty piece of it, of course, is sad to see. But it was cool seeing animals that you don't normally see in everyday life in person. And I'm very sure that the new rides they're adding have all the thrills you could want. So I am very excited to revisit this park and try all the new rides. So it just comes in at number 12 on my list. Coming in at number 11 on my list is Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington. This is my local park. I actually live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So this is the park that I grew up going to all the time as a kid. Going in the summertime, during summer breaks, going during Halloween time, during Fright Fest, which I'm looking forward to doing again this year. And then going during my favorite time of the year in Christmas time and Holiday in the Park. Very excited to revisit this park and see all the new things. This park, it does fall a little bit lower on my list because it is a little dated. They have made updates. I'm excited to see the new updates that they have been making. A lot of paint jobs, of some renovations to some of the rides I'm excited to see. Again, a lot of the stuff does feel a little bit dated. I will say, if you go through some of the rides, some of the effects are a little bit dated. Some of the new renovations they've done have added some little bit of sparkle to it. But to me, it's just kind of nostalgic going here. There are some major renovations, I understand, right now as of this recording, going on in the Mexico area, and I'm excited to see what they do there. Again, some exciting renovations coming. It does fall a little bit lower on my list because of that dated feel, but it is just so nostalgic for me. It is the park that I go to probably most often, obviously because of proximity, but it is full of thrill rides. It has so many fun rides that are some of my favorites. I love the Pandemonium, what used to be the Tony Hawk Spin. That's my favorite coaster. Just the way that that coaster does the spinning while it's going, of course, is my favorite ride. But again, it just falls a little bit lower on my list. Coming in at number 10 on my list is Six Flags Fiesta Texas in San Antonio. This one does come above the Six Flags Over Texas, the original park. To me, this one does seem a little bit more updated. Now, the rides, some of them can seem a little bit dated. However, this one does seem like it has had more updates just over time. It is a slightly newer park, obviously, than Six Flags Over Texas. But this one, to me, the rides on this one and the way that it fits into the environment of where it's at. If you've ever been to Fiesta Texas in San Antonio, you know kind of where it's in that basin where there's a cliff there. And the fact that the Superman roller coaster goes up on that cliff really creates a cool environment. To me, some of the rides here do outweigh the rides in Six Flags Over Texas, and I do really love the boardwalk area. Again, this one seems a little bit dated. There are some updates happening to this park, but this park, I will say, is the more updated, kind of more fresh feeling park. So to me, that's why this one gets a little bit of a higher nod than the Six Flags Over Texas on this list. Coming in at number 9 on my list is Universal Studios Hollywood. So the Universal Studios park in California does come in at number 9. It only falls behind the other parks simply because of what the other parks have, not necessarily anything wrong with this park. My favorite part of the entire park is the fact that it is part of a working movie studio. The studio tour was, of course, my favorite attraction, going through and seeing that. There are a ton of fun things to do here, including the Mario area, the Nintendo area. So cool to see that in person for the first time and how immersive that land is. Seeing the Harry Potter area there and the rides there are fantastic, I must say. And then just kind of seeing the other things that they have, like the Despicable Me area is really cool. And the updates that are coming on that one. At the time of this recording, they're currently still in construction for the Fast and Furious coaster that is coming, and I'm excited to see what that one has to offer. Again, this ranking may change as these attractions come and kind of seeing which ones become my favorite. But as of right now, Universal Studios Hollywood comes in at number 9 behind the next listed park. Coming in at number 8 on my list is Disney's Animal Kingdom in Orlando. So Animal Kingdom, if you don't know, is basically the Disney park that is themed around the natural world. It is really cool to see. Of course, the big attraction there is the Kilimanjaro Safari, which takes you through a realistic safari tour through the African savanna. Of course, it's in Orlando, Florida, so you're not there seeing the animals in their natural habitat, but Disney does a fantastic job making it as natural as possible. And the fact that you're going through what feels like a very interactive savanna, of course, they have their hidden magic of keeping the animals at a safe distance for the obviously the more dangerous animals. But it is very cool to kind of see what is a realistic kind of tour safari without having been on one myself. You get to see the next closest thing to that. And of course, it has one of the greatest rides, Mount Everest, which has of course, Disco Yeti. If you know, you know. But that one is one of my favorite coasters at Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom Park, of course, with the take on the natural world. Again, like every other theme park on this list, there are renovations and there are improvements coming. Of course, there is the loss of Dinoland USA that is now getting replaced with the Americas, which is going to have an Encanto theme, an Indiana Jones ride, I believe. So anything that has to do with the South America, Central America kind of theme to it, there are going to be attractions coming there. So I'm very excited to see what is to come and what they do at that park. Of course, it has the Avatar Land as well, which I have yet to see. I haven't been there since the Avatar area opened. So I'm very excited to see that in person. Again, it has been years since I've been to this particular park, but I'm very excited to see some things that already have opened and what is to come with Animal Kingdom. Coming in at number 7 on my list is Epcot. Epcot falls a little bit lower on my list than probably most people's lists out there, and that's okay. For me, this is kind of where this one falls, again, just because of what the other parks above it have, not necessarily saying anything bad about this park. Epcot is one of my favorite parks. It falls a little bit low again, just because to me, I wish this park had a few more rides. It has one of the best rides Disney's ever made. in the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, one of the best coasters out there, so much fun. And then the random order in which you get the songs, obviously is fun as well to see which song you get for your ride. But to me, I wish it had a little bit more rides incorporated into this park, both in the Future World and in the World Showcase. I do love both of those areas. Growing up and going there as a kid, it has seen some improvements, which I'm very glad that they've made. I have yet to go to the Moana water area. I went there just before that part of the park opened, so I saw the construction walls up. So I'm very excited to see what that has to offer, and excited to see what else they would put in that in the World Showcase as well. There are some areas there that I wish they could make some improvements, or even add another pavilion, add another country into the World Showcase. It is fantastic. I love visiting the different countries and seeing kind of a snippet of different cultures out there. Trying some of the different foods that they offer is one of my favorite things. I just do wish that they had a little bit more attractions or rides in each of the areas to kind of culminate what those cultures had to offer, and kind of see something as an interactive experience rather than just a restaurant or a shopping area in each of those pavilions. But Epcot comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 on my list is Universal Studios Orlando. So the main Universal park in Florida comes in at number 6. To me, this park is a great laid out park. I love the way that this park is laid out. I am very sad to see that the coaster, I believe it's the Rip Ride Rocket, if I'm not mistaken, is going away, that it's going to be replaced by another attraction. I do wish that that ride was still there. There are also rumors that the Simpsons area may be changing now that Disney owns Fox and in turn owns the Simpsons. So we'll see what happens there, but to me this park is fantastic the way it's laid out. I love the big lagoon in the middle when you're going around the Simpsons to the Men in Black to the Harry Potter Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley, one of the best themed areas, I gotta say, in any theme park. Universal really goes crazy when it comes to the theming. Now, as of this recording, I have not yet been to the newly renovated kids area here, back by where the E.T. ride is. The E.T. ride, of course, a classic, one of my favorites. But back in that area, it is now a DreamWorks kids area. I have yet to see what that looks like in person, renovated with some of the new rides and attractions that they have there. So I'm very excited to see that area and what that area has to offer. But like I said, just going through with the Transformers ride and the classic Mummy ride, and of course the great theming in Diagon Alley, I absolutely love this park. To me, it just falls short, just again because of what the other parks have to offer. But I do love this park. This one has a lot of my favorite rides. Again, I love the way that this park is laid out. To me, I'm a big movie person. I absolutely love movies. So this park and Universal in general, having the IP that it has and some of the names and attractions that it has, really, really is fantastic. And again, I love this layout, the way that it's laid out with the city area and ultimately the lagoon area, and with some of just the great attractions it has. This one falls short just because of what the other parks do have, but to me, this one comes in at number 6. All right, now getting to the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is the original 1955 Disneyland. Disneyland in California. Ever since I took my first visit to Disneyland back in 2022, I kind of fell in love with the park again. If you've seen my other videos talking about just the history that's in this park, you really feel it when you're walking through, seeing some of the classic rides like the Matterhorn, the original like Peter Pan, the flying elephants, and the Dumbo ride, going to the Pirates of the Caribbean, the original Jungle Cruise. Seeing some of these rides really makes you feel like you're walking through the past and really kind of feeling that history. Now, this park, of course, has had updates since 1955, and I'm sure we're all grateful for that. Of course, it has added the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars area to this park, which, of course, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so it's great to see that in this park. I'm a big sucker for Tomorrowland, and I do wish that there are updates in that area of the park. I do wish that they would have maybe another attraction or to get some more movement in that side of the park with the People Mover now being gone, obviously, in that area. But I do love the Tomorrowland area. I'm a big sucker for Tomorrowland. So I do love that area. I wish there was a little bit more movement there. The Finding Nemo submarine voyage is awesome. The Matterhorn, I love that ride. And so just kind of seeing the nostalgia that comes with that park, really leaning on the history, and then seeing the updates as well that's come to that park. And everything that park has with the original Haunted Mansion and then the holiday overlay with Nightmare Before Christmas is something to see. You've got to see that and experience that in both times of the year when it's off season and on with that overlay. You have to experience that. But Disneyland ultimately comes in at number 5 on my list. Coming in at number 4 is Universal's Islands of Adventure in Orlando. This park to me is one step above the Universal Studios park that's right next door. To me, this one has more thrills to offer, and the way I enjoy the layout of the islands. So it's in the name, Islands of Adventure. Each themed area is its own quote-unquote island, and seeing the Jurassic Park area, the Dr. Seuss Landing was always one of my favorites as a kid. Seeing everything that it has to offer with the Harry Potter area and Hogsmeade. And then, of course, my favorite area. I am a giant comic book nerd. The Marvel area that is in Islands of Adventure is by far my favorite land in a theme park. That park has so much to offer when it comes to thrills and just the amount of attractions and rides and the way it's laid out with the islands that you're going around to each individual area. And in the Marvel area, of course, again, is my favorite area, has one of my favorite rides of all time. The Spider-Man 3D Dark Ride is an amazing ride. I absolutely love that ride. We went on that one when I was a kid, and we went on that one recently to one of our recent visits, and it still holds up today. They've updated the graphics in the video and in the 3D. They've updated some of the features there. The video, I believe, is in better quality. And things like that, but it still holds up. The story stays the same. It feels like you're walking through a comic book in that particular area. Again, you get all the thrill rides with the new Velocicoaster in the Jurassic Park area. You get the fun kids ride, or the fun kind of kids atmosphere with the Dr. Seuss Landing, and seeing the Grinch for the first time. We went during a holiday season, seeing the Grinch in person, getting to do a meet and greet. That was so fantastic, so much fun. Islands of Adventure comes in at number 4 on my list. Number 3 on my list is Magic Kingdom Park in Disney World in Florida. So Magic Kingdom Park to me is my favorite castle park. I have yet to visit the ones around the world, like I said, as of the recording of this video here. But Magic Kingdom Park is my favorite. To me, it's one of the most nostalgic parks that I've probably have on this list, simply because that's the one park that I grew up going to as far as Disney parks is concerned. I didn't visit Disneyland until recently, in recent years. So I grew up going to Disney World as a kid. And so Disney World, the Magic Kingdom, has that nostalgic feeling for me, brings back a lot of memories. Again, I am a sucker for Tomorrowland. That is my favorite land in that area. And now, of course, it has updates. It has the new Tron coaster. There, as you circle around and go to the new Fantasyland, there's updates back there with the flying elephants. Again, I'm sad, if you've seen my other video, sad that the Toontown area is gone where you would tour through Mickey and Minnie's house. But the new Fantasyland that's back there and all that's to come with the Villains Land, that I'm so excited for. And even now the construction where the Rivers of America was for the new Cars attraction and the new Cars area that's going in back there. There's so much coming to this park, and I feel like it needed those updates. But this park, even if it was left alone, is one of the greatest parks out there. You have to see the castle in person if you haven't already. Just walking down Main Street, getting the music, the nostalgic feeling from that, getting the smells coming from the candy shop, coming from the bakery, just that warm kind of fuzzy feeling walking down Main Street. Into this park, seeing the big castle at the end of the walkway, it just brings back so many memories. To me, this is my favorite castle park. I have a feeling that even going forward and visiting parks around the world, when we do eventually do that in Asia and in Europe, I do have a feeling this will remain my favorite castle park, but never say never. Coming in at number 2 on my list, and probably a little controversially, is Disney's California Adventure. Now, I know this park is not everybody's favorite. This one is only high up on my list because when I visited this park for the first time, it felt so much like my number 1 park that I absolutely fell in love with this one. Now, it is a really small park, and I completely understand that, but to me, this park, the attractions and the lands that it has really speak volumes to me. Now, it's not the best layout for a park by any means, but again, just the themed areas it has and what this park has to offer, it felt like, again, like my number 1 park. Kind of a reminder of that one. So this one really felt high on my list. And again, this one's going to be lower on most people's lists, and I completely understand that. This is just an order of my favorites. So from everything from the old Hollywood feel going through to the Avengers campus and the Cars Land area. The Cars Land, the Radiator Springs, is probably the best themed land that Disney's ever made. It is fantastic. And then circling all around the park with Pixar Pier, of course, with all the beloved Pixar movies and the Toy Story Mania ride. Absolutely love that ride. The Incredicoaster quickly became one of my favorites in riding that one for the first time. And then even the Grizzly Peak area, going through the rapids and riding the Soarin' ride in California. Just kind of seeing that park as kind of an ode to old Hollywood was really cool to see, and kind of a celebration of California. Even though it has those themed areas, it's really still a celebration of California. So just kind of seeing that park really brought back memories of my number 1 park. But I love those themed areas. I'm a big comic book nerd, so the Marvel area, the Avengers campus, quickly became a favorite of mine. And of course, like I said, the Cars area is probably the best themed area Disney's ever done. With that, you have to go at sunset when all the neon lights turn on and see that in person as it was in the movies. So cool. And finally, number 1 on my list is Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando at Walt Disney World in Florida. Hollywood Studios is my favorite theme park. It's probably far down on the list for most of you out there. For me, this is my favorite park for multiple reasons. First off, I am a giant movie person. I absolutely love movies. So this theme park is a glimpse into the movies, and even in some cases you get to take a step into what it feels like to be in that movie. And I absolutely love that. In this park, this is the Florida version of the Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars area. But there are some updates coming to this park, which I'm very excited for. But just kind of looking back, there are some things that I do wish they have done better. So the animation courtyard area, there are some updates coming to it now. I remember going as a kid and seeing it as a working animation studio. I actually saw the making of, I believe it was Treasure Planet at the time we went, where they were making Treasure Planet in that studio. And it was so cool to see behind the scenes there. I do wish they kept that part of the park. I'm really excited to see the update that's coming to it. But I do wish that they kept that a working studio, and I understand that they couldn't for multiple reasons, but that was one of my favorite areas. But seeing what they've done to that park in adding the Toy Story land, so much fun. The Slinky Dog Coaster is one of the best, and where it has the Toy Story Mania ride, where you enter in through the Toy Story area there, I absolutely love it. Whenever we went this last time, on our last visit, it was the first time we got to ride the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at any of the parks, and so that was fantastic. Quickly became one of my favorite rides. And so this park simply, for me, has kind of a nostalgic feel going there as a kid, but to me it's also built into that the feeling of stepping into the movies, which is my favorite thing, or into a movie studio, and even kind of old Hollywood, even at that too, going up to the Hollywood Tower of Terror, but just some of the classic rides that are there. And then, of course, the Muppets are coming to the Rock and Roller Coaster. which is one of the updates that's coming as well. Again, Rock and Roller Coaster, one of my favorite rides. And so this park is jam-packed with rides that are favorite after favorite after favorite of mine, which is why this park to me is number one. It's number one for my list. It's number one of my favorite theme parks. So there you have it, everybody. That is my ranking of the theme parks that I have been to so far. As I do plan some more trips coming to visit other parks around the country, visit other parks around the world. Again, this list might change. This list might have adjustments to the rankings. And of course, as new parks come, they'll get added in and see where those get slotted. I'm excited to kind of keep this as a video series as I plan those trips. But I want to hear from you guys. What's your favorite theme park? How would you rank these parks? What would you change about my rankings? I'm excited to hear those conversations in the comments below. But of course, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys either on the waves or in the parks. Thanks, everybody.